Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 2, episode 14, and this is a very special episode because we are coming international this time around. So, again, thank you to Zoom. I can't thank the Zoom people enough in the app. It's been working great to connect with people all over. Been able to talk to people in different states, but now I am going overseas. So this is really awesome. Never have done this yet. So pretty excited to have my first international guest and my first my first international guest is none other than Emma Popa. And we have been friends for over a decade. We have never met, but we have talked virtually. We've talked through video chat. We've talked on the phone. We've talked through Facebook Messenger. We've been pen pals. We've sent each other gifts. So it's been a great friendship. I feel like, has always been my number one fan, especially when I used to do music, when I was doing the sleazy rap thing. And she was always just very appreciative and supportive in everything that I feel like I've ever done. So I've been very thankful to have her friendship and to have her in my corner. And I felt the same way for her. I've always been very supportive and wanted her to do well and wanted her to be happy. So it's been a great friendship, and I'm excited to have her as a guest. So welcome to the show, Emma.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really excited to have you. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
how has life been treating you? How you been doing here lately?
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously it's been a bit crazy for everybody because of COVID, but we're slowly coming out of that here in the UK, things getting back to normal. So yeah, things are good. Yeah, just come back from Romania. You know that I like to travel, so we've talked about that a lot, haven't we? So
Yeah.
yeah, everything's really great.
So, what part of Romania were you in?
So my husband is from Transylvania. So he's a vampire. Well, no, he jokes that he is. But so yeah, we visit his family that's in a city called Brasov, which is sort of, deep in Transylvania, if you like. It's about 20 minutes from the Bran Castle, which was the inspiration for the Dracula stories. That's where Vlad the Impaler lived.
Oh, that's
So
so
he's about
cool.
I know. So his city where he grew up is about 20 minutes from there. So we've just been there, and the kids have been skiing because it was snowy. Um, so yeah, they've had a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, where are you at now? Where are we recording from?
So we're in my house in North Wales. Um, yeah, in the
So,
UK. Sorry.
so what would you say is the difference between Romania and Wales?
um, well, I suppose I don't know the standard of living. I mean, Romania is still on the whole quite a poor country, so
Oh,
there's
okay.
lots of like villages where there's no sort of transport and things like that. Obviously, the cities are quite what would you say, like cosmopolitan and obviously richer there. But I don't know really. It's difficult to say because I live in a village. So like where I look out my window, it's all green and fields and sheep. And obviously where I go in Romania, it's a city, so it's quite different.
That's really cool, though. That's awesome that you. I think it's always been cool to hear your traveling stories. I know you are a
Yeah.
traveling lady, so that's
Hmm.
really neat. And I had to ask too, just for the listeners here, because I know out of curiosity. So we had talked a little bit on Messenger through Snapchat about Ukraine and everything. How did
Yeah.
Ukraine kind of affect Romania? I know they're very close. Was there
Yeah.
warnings that came out or anything?
Well, no, not really. So where I was staying in Romania, it's quite sort of southern. So obviously the border is at the north of Romania. And I know that they're taking a lot of refugees in, but people were obviously concerned, and I know I was when I was there. I wanted to get home in case things sort of spilt over into Romania, but with Romania being part of NATO, it's unlikely to impact them unless it impacts all of us, really. So they,
Yeah.
it's still relatively safe, and they're doing lots of things to help the people in Ukraine, like I said, taking in the refugees and going over the border to take packages of food and aid and things like that. So yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Absolutely
Oh,
crazy
it's wild.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's awesome though that like you're safe now and that you got to
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
home, and I'm
Definitely.
glad you're definitely safe. And
Hmm.
so what would you say is some of your favorite places you traveled to?
I don't know really. I mean, I've been to America, but I've only been to like LA and California really, and that was really great. And Vegas, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, really liked that, but I don't know. Do you know what? One of the most beautiful places I ever went to was Scotland. So obviously, the UK is Wales, Scotland, England, and Ireland. But like, it's not like we go to those places very often. I mean, I live on the border to England, so obviously I go to England quite a lot. But like, I've only been to Scotland once in my life. I've never even been to Ireland.
Yeah.
Um, so we went to Scotland camping, and the laws are different. So in England and Wales, you can't just camp anywhere, but in Scotland you can. You can like just pitch up a tent and camp wherever you want to, and light your fire and do all those things. So we went camping by Loch Ness. Have you heard of the Loch Ness monster?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
story. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So we went and camped there, obviously to try and see
That's
something.
so cool. That's
I
really
know, yeah.
cool.
But it was so beautiful, and I have never seen stars like that in the sky. It was just so unpolluted and just really, really beautiful place. And yeah, obviously I've been to some amazing places, but that was one of the most like really pretty, and just remember the stars at night. But I mean, yeah, I've been to pretty much everywhere in Europe. All of the main ones: Rome, Athens, Paris, Prague, obviously Bucharest. We're going to Budapest, which is the capital of Hungary, obviously, in July, and I've been to Rome, in not Rome, Italy in November last year, where I went to Pisa, Venice, Florence, and I have been to Rome before. So quite well traveled, but it's easy, because it's so close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Europe is like Paris is half an hour flight away, so it's just easy to get to
That's
these
really
places.
cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool. And I think that is awesome how you all are so close, all the countries,
I
and
know.
you
Yeah,
can travel. And a lot of my friends that are international, that are overseas, that I know, like in Norway and Germany, they talk of too about how they travel around and they've seen different places. And so over here in the United States, I mean, I've seen about, I think I did my account the other, like, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and it was like I think I'm around like 32 states out of the 50.
yeah,
I got about 18 more to go. I'm hoping to hit those, but it just takes time, and some are very far, and some are are kind of like in the middle of nowhere. So it's just kind of trying
yeah,
to hit all those. But that's really cool though. You got to travel and see all that, and
yeah.
all the
It is.
history. I mean, Europe
Mhm.
has so much history, which is what fascinates me. And
Yeah,
I went over to Norway and Sweden, probably back, I mean, it's been almost a decade ago, and it was a lot of fun. I thought it was such an
yeah,
incredible experience. And my friends from Germany came to visit me, and uh, it was so funny, just
yeah,
how the different cultures, like we talked about, when they were over here, like, they were so shocked by different things that we had, and
yeah.
but they also were like so excited for like the most random things, like Wendy's fast food and like
Oh
different
my
things
God, yeah. The fast food in America, that was my favorite part of it. Yeah.
have.
So, sorry, my little girl's here. What do you want? Sorry, you're hungry. But go and ask your brother. I'm sorry, Eric.
Oh,
You
you're
want?
fine. You're fine. It's part of being a mother. So
Yeah,
so motherhood, how you
yeah,
love being a mother. I know that.
yeah, yeah. So I have a nearly 17-year-old who has his own baby. So I'm a nana as well, a grandma. And my middle one is 15, and then I have a 5-year-old.
Okay, well that's awesome. That's
I
awesome. So
know.
you got a
It's
big
cool.
family.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice.
What would you
It's really cool.
say? What's some of the few of the tough challenges of motherhood and some of the rewards? What would you say?
Well,
Your opinion.
I think most mums would agree that the challenges is trying to juggle everything. So I work full time and trying to make sure the kids are okay as well as working and as well as having a life and having friends and a husband and all that sort of thing. It is like a juggling act, and I think that one of the biggest things that you feel as a parent is guilty all the time, because you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not there enough, but then I want to work because I want to be able to give them a good life, I want to be able to go places with them and show them things, and then obviously the rewards are just the holidays with them, spending time with them and seeing them grow and develop into people. And my son is really young to be a dad, but he has just like smashed it. Like, he is amazing. He is doing more than I think some men of 30. He has a part-time job, he goes to college, he is like doing semi-professional football. He is, like, he is just,
Wow.
as well as like having a girlfriend and a baby. He's so, I'm so proud of him, so proud. And obviously my other two are wonderful as well. But just,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that kudos to him, and that's awesome how proud you are of
Yeah.
your kids, and it shows how much you
Hmm.
love them and appreciate them.
Yeah.
And you,
Yeah.
being your friend over the years, I've kind of seen your kids grow up, and I've heard the
Yeah.
stories and stuff. So it's cool hearing that and seeing how far the journey's come, and that's really
Yeah.
exciting that you are so part of their life. And I think it's cool how hard you work too. I mean, you've told me
Hmm.
before, like, you definitely take your career serious, so that's awesome.
Definitely. Hmm. Yeah.
Do you so we have talked about this a lot, and because it's always an
Hmm.
interest of mine, soccer, football, of course, over
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
So what's your favorite team again? What I know we've discussed this before.
Yeah, so we are Manchester United supporters in this house.
Oh, okay, okay.
I know you're a Chelsea, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
Chelsea fan. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got the flag on my
Um,
wall right here. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, so because we live quite close to Manchester, it's about, I don't know, 40 minutes away. And yeah, it's just my brother supported them when he was a kid, and now my kids do. So yeah, it's just been a long time supporting them. And then obviously we support local teams as well. So we go, and Nathan, my eldest, plays. He's like, that's his life, football. Actually, United are playing at the moment. I don't think they're getting on very well, but it's the derby today. They're playing Manchester City, so it's Manchester United versus Manchester City. I think City's winning at the moment. So
And those are like the big. I mean, those matches over there are so big, and the Premier
yeah,
League is so huge. What have you been to Premier League games, right?
yeah. So I've actually watched Chelsea, but a long, long time ago. But yeah. I mean, it is like a religion over here, isn't it? Like, we're crazy about it. So yeah, it's just such a great atmosphere if you go and watch
The
a Premier
energy,
League match.
energy,
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it can be quite dangerous. I'm sure you've heard of like, there can be, fights and stuff like that. But on the whole, I think it's a good positive vibe.
And now we over here in the States, like before games, like especially in football, we tailgate before the game and like kind of party
Yeah.
before we go in. Is that something they do before the games over there?
Yeah,
Kind of
probably, but I
situation.
don't. It's probably not as like classy as what you guys do. We just go to the pub and have pints.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so and then obviously afterwards, depending, you're either commiserating or celebrating afterwards in the pub. Um, so yeah.
When you were over in the States, I had to ask, what was your favorite food to have, or like drink that you couldn't get overseas?
Um, the best thing is that everything's massive. Like, I brought the McDonald's chips, fries, as you call them. The
Yeah.
little box that they come in. I brought it home because it's huge. Like,
Yeah.
even our large fries is like pretty small compared to that. It's like a bucket. So I just loved how everything was big, and you'd go to like a petrol station and get a drink, and it's like this huge bucket of like whatever Coke or whatever you want, and all the sweets, and like because of your different laws, you're still allowed all those like additives that taste really good that are really bad for you, but taste. Whereas like because we're under like regulations, different regulations, like things don't taste the same here. So yeah, it's I don't know. I remember having a Shake Shack, but I think you can get that here. That was really nice. And we went to Denny's a lot. Denny's is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was Denny's is like one of the 24-hour spots. Our Louisville ones and where I'm at, they're not as good, but I will
Yeah.
say this, like on the side, I DoorDash sometimes and like do deliver just for extra cash, and I'll go buy Denny's and pick up people's food and then I'll deliver it. And what's hilarious is most of the time when people are getting their Denny's delivery, they're drunk as shit. And I show
Yeah.
up and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much." But I love breakfast foods in general. Like
Yeah.
I will say, America definitely does have some good breakfast spots. It is hard. I mean, there's a lot of temptation in America, especially fast food and in that
Yeah.
general. But
Yeah.
I try to eat as healthy as I can. It's just,
Yeah.
you just kind of got to balance it out and like make sure you
Yeah.
can dodge the temptation.
Let's just remind me as well. What are the things that obviously that I'm recovering from surgery at the moment, and I joined a Facebook group of women that had had the same surgery, breast surgery, and they were all American apart from me. And my God, the pain relief that you guys have over there! Like I've done this whole thing on paracetamol, and you guys have got like oxycodone or whatever it's called, and like all these opiates. And I'm just like, we don't have it. So I was super jealous of like the pain relief that you guys can have over there. So is that like a big thing then? Like
Yes, it's bad.
prescription
Now
medication?
it's good and
Mm,
bad. It's 50-50. And so you got the angel and devil in that situation. The good
mm,
thing is like, yes, pain medicine, you can really feel
yeah,
no pain when you really have a severe injury,
yeah,
especially now with like a lot of dispensaries and weed stuff becoming legal in some places. You're
yeah,
now also getting that for pain treatment. So there's a lot of good benefits. And I'll be honest, I don't have any problem like or addiction with taking those things. I do like pain medicine, of course, if I'm hurting. However,
yeah,
the negative is the opioid addiction in America is through the roof, like especially
yeah,
where I'm at and other places, which that makes people turn to heroin and other drugs. So
mhm,
it has a good and bad because you can have someone that like say they break their leg in a freak accident at work or a car crash and they go get the pain pills, they become addicted and they
yeah,
might not have ever had an addiction issue at all. And it's because they've never taken it. And now that's in their system, it's like they got to get it more. And now they're going to go get other highs. So it can be good and bad, but
yeah,
it's definitely something that I will say this doctors love just to write those scripts. I mean, the
yeah,
prescription in the pharmacies
hmm,
are like everywhere. Like the one thing in America besides fast food that's kind of the running joke in some places that we have a lot of mattress stores on
yeah,
corners, which is weird. Like some people think it's like a money laundering screen
yeah,
scheme or whatever. But there's tons of these bed places, and then also
yeah,
too there's Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid pharmacies, and like they're everywhere. They're like, and I mean I
yeah.
know you got to have those in neighborhoods where people live, but it's definitely a good and bad in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I was super jealous of the I like they have like drugs to sleep, drugs to wake up, and drugs to do everything. And I'm like, oh, I just got my paracetamol. And
Yeah,
that's
it's. I
it.
mean, I'll say this: like, I've had shoulder and neck injuries just because of
Yeah.
sports and like playing baseball growing up. And my mom, like, she gets sometimes pain medicine for like her
Mm,
knee, and and her and I have like we've talked, and she's compared like the different medicines, and like sometimes we go to the same chiropractor or doctor, and I'll be
yeah.
like, hey, can I get some of those to try like to help my shoulder? And it's like, I will be honest, that pain medicine will just take that inflammation away. It feels
Hmm.
good, like it really.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
And I
Mm,
like, and I recently here went to Detroit, Michigan, and to visit my girlfriend's brother and was up there, and we had a good time, and we hit the one of the dispensaries and got some goodies or whatever, and I got some good edibles. And I'll be honest,
Yeah.
man, I mean, it's crazy how quick you'll take the pain away, because when it's cold, like we're dealing with the cold weather,
Hmm.
uh I my neck and shoulder kind of get tweaked up, and so like I need something to take away the pain. So it's definitely, it's wild how much they help.
Yeah.
It's always a good little solution.
Yeah. Definitely.
How is recovery going from surgery? You feeling better?
Yeah. It's okay. It's been a bit worse than I expected, I guess. I had a few complications, but yeah, it's good. I hope that I'm gonna like them. I'm looking forward to the summer
I'm
to
glad.
get
I'm glad. I'm,
the
yeah, I'm glad that you're on your way to recovery. And
yeah.
I wanted to ask you this too. So,
Mhm.
being talking about America and stuff like that, is there other things in America that you enjoyed that you miss that when you were over here, that you were really cool to, like, you thought was cool to see in LA and everything?
Um, wow, obviously the weather was nice. It's always raining here. Um, oh, I don't know really. It's just such a different world, isn't it? And I obviously didn't spend that long there, 3 weeks, and it was quite a while ago now. So it's hard to remember exactly the sort of, finer details of what I liked. But I think it's quite overwhelming because it is like so massive and so different. And Americans are so different to British people as well. And I don't know, it's like it's difficult for us to get each other. I mean, it's different with us because we're friends, but I think that I don't know because we're so self-deprecating, British people, and we're so like sarcastic and like, if you tell me I look good, I'll be like, no, I look shit. Like, why you like, but like Americans are like, no, I look brilliant. I don't know. It's just, it's so different that I think that I'd have to spend a lot of time there to be comfortable. I'm not saying I didn't like it. It's just that it's very, very different, very, very different sort of outlook on life. But I love the positivity. I love the cars, big cars. We had a Mustang, that was nice. And yeah, everything's just big, isn't it?
It is, and I'll agree. And something cool that I'll say I was really lucky to do, I guess, in the past decade, besides knowing you and knowing my other international friends, but like, yeah, I love soccer. I love BBC News. I kind of got into that whole
Yeah,
culture aspect, and then British humor is definitely, like, British comedy is so much different than American comedy. I mean, people
it's
over in
so
America
different.
really
Yeah,
talk about it, and I respect it. Like, I really like British humor and British comedy. Like, I get it, and I like something big over in America that was big over in Europe was Old Greg from the Mighty Boosh. I'm Old Greg.
yeah,
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 that was so big back when I was in high school, and it's still big to this day. Like,
yeah,
people still say that, and now that he's on, I think it's called the Great British Bake Off, or
yeah, yeah,
yeah, Noel or whatever. He's one of
yeah,
the hosts on there, so it's pretty cool to. It's I think it's always been cool to see cultures like get spread around like that in different
yeah,
places, because I'm always
yeah,
been that way. I've been an open book. I've always liked to learn and meet other people and hear about this stuff, so I always thought that was like really cool.
yeah.
Now with technology that we're able to do that so easy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, in Wales, we're like totally different to like Londoners. I don't know what the perception of British people is where you are, but I mean, a lot of people just think that London is like but there's so many different variations of how we act, and Londoners are quite snobby and quite stuck up, and then the further north you get, I mean, there's loads of jokes made about it, like we're easygoing, we're laid back, we're more down to earth, and that sort of thing, and yeah, have more of that self-deprecating humor, and just, well, I don't know really, but I don't know how to describe it, but we're just nicer up north, I think. Just more fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And do you like going to London ever? I mean, is there ever times where you're just like, I want to go to the city?
Well, it sounds probably nothing to you, but it's like 3.5 hours away. So I would probably not. I've been a handful of times in my life, really. It's not somewhere because I would just go to Liverpool or Manchester, which is like half an hour away, 40 minutes. I wouldn't go unless there was. My brother used to live there, and we'd go and visit him. But no, it's not something we do. Like people just don't go to London just for the sake of it. It's only ever for a planned thing or something like that. And there's no real need to because there's nothing different there. I mean, obviously there's the sights, I suppose, but there's everything you want in the other cities. So.
And it's so big too, right? Like we were talking about size and stuff. Like London is huge, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't know how big, to be honest. That's awful, isn't it? I don't know how big the capital is, but yeah, I mean it is, and it's got loads of outer boroughs and things like that. So it just goes on for miles. But yeah, I mean a lot of it's not very nice, and homeless people and flats, blocks of flats and things like that. But yeah, yeah.
And then the weather too there can be a little I guess a little rainy and kind of cloudy.
Yeah. I mean, especially here where I am in Wales, it's like it doesn't go a week without raining ever. Like even in the height of summer, it will rain, which is nice because everywhere's beautifully green. But at the same time, you can't really, plan things. That's the worst thing. You can't. I don't know what is the weather pretty sort of steady where you are. You have your winter and then your summer, or
Oh, where like I live in Louisville, Kentucky, like kind of the central part of the United States, like it's so up and down. Like literally
Oh,
yesterday,
really?
7 degrees, sunny. You could have like been swimming in a pool, had a bathing
Oh
suit
my
on.
gosh.
Today it's
Yeah.
rainy. It's like 45, 50, like it's dropped. I mean, it can go up and down. Now, like our summers are really warm and our winters are really winter, but it definitely has the up and down. The one thing about the weather here is like that's what's kind of good about going to the other states and getting out and like going to Florida and stuff because you can go like in less than like a 10-hour drive, you can hit somewhere tropical if it gets too cloudy for you, which that's the one benefit that's nice.
Yeah. That would be so nice if you could just drive somewhere here to get to nice weather. I mean, I suppose you can because it would only take you 10 hours to get to the south of France, probably. So I don't know what I'm moaning about. I could just drive there.
Now, do you would you say what's some of the music you're listening to here lately? Like what's some of your favorite artists?
Oh my gosh, what have I been listening to lately? Oh, do you know what? I tend to like if I really like TikTok. And when I say like, I don't like it, but I quite often find myself in a TikTok hole, as they say. So I'll be like just scrolling on it for hours and like lose a half a day on it. So like no, lately I've just been like finding the songs on there and being like, oh, this is a really good song, and playing that and playing that in my car or whatever. I don't really know what I've been listening to. It's just anything that takes my fancy, really. I'll just have on repeat. I'm actually going to a festival in May, which is like it's going to be like indie music. I went to it last year as well. I'm trying to think whether you'd know anyone, but they're all pretty local. Oh, is it Jeff? Not Jeff Glynn. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to have a think. But yeah, I don't know really. Just anything. Anything is what I've been listening to.
Now
Sorry,
there's
it's not very.
like on the satellite radio over here. There's a TikTok like radio where you actually have like all the artists and songs that are on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's like on a rotating thing. And yeah, there's
Oh my god.
bangers on TikTok. Like I found
Yeah,
artists
there's
that I
some
never
really
heard
good.
of.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and TikTok that's my addiction as well. I like making them. I have so
Yeah.
much fun making TikToks. They're like,
Yeah. I have never done one. I need to make one, but yeah,
oh yeah,
they look so much fun.
Oh, it's so easy to do if you really like to start giving a shot. And also you kind of just gotta like laugh at yourself, because that's what I do half the time. Like I'm laughing at my videos because I'm trying the different trends and the dances, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'm having a
they
good
are
time.
funny. Yeah, they are good. They're funny.
Would you say what is I guess something that Americans would want to know as well is like what's some of the foods that you eat? Like what are some of the regular drinks and food you eat besides, of course, the wine or beer or anything like that, or typical drinks?
Um, don't know. So like we like our roast dinners. Like chicken, potatoes, gravy. But I don't know whether it's the same sort of gravy that you guys have. I don't know. Like I'll have sandwiches. We eat lots of sandwiches. Fish and chips, curry, sausage and mash, potato. I mean, I'm always trying to eat healthy. I'm always on a diet, so I don't eat this stuff really. But yeah, I mean, probably not that different. It would just be, a lot less fast food probably. I don't know really because I don't know what the typical American eats in terms of fast food, but in like I think everybody here has this image is that you guys just eat a lot of it. I don't know. Is that wrong, do you think?
No, I'll say this. There's a lot of Americans that do eat a lot of it, and a lot of them try to stop eating it, but it's like it's just hard because,
Yeah.
and also to like what I mentioned earlier, like I DoorDash deliver to people. So many people deliver, and just I think the convenience factor. But the good thing is too, some of these restaurants that do, you're able to deliver from or buy from do have healthy options. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say that's about up Americans' alley. And Americans are always trying different things as well. I mean, we,
Hmm.
especially here in Louisville, like, or just in Kentucky in general, I mean, we have a lot of pizza places and a lot
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah, we eat a lot of
fried
pizza as
chicken.
well. Mm,
Fried chicken's really big here, and then which that's probably the most unhealthy thing. And then you got burgers, of course, that people love,
yeah.
but pizza, I'll say this, like I've been having some really good pizza here lately. Like I don't know, I've been on a good pizza streak. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
I
What's
love
your favorite
pizza.
pizza?
I'd have a veggie one, maybe with a bit of chicken on.
Ooh.
And I love a stuffed crust. If I'm having a cheat day, you have to go all out and have a stuffed crust.
Ooh, stuffed crust. I like stuffed crust too.
Yeah,
There's a place called Mill and Tony, which is like right around the corner from my house, like a local
yeah.
place. Slices are like this big. It's so good. But I've been having different kinds. Like I went to Detroit, and Detroit in Michigan has like a different style of pizza, and then you got New York style, and then you kind of got California style. So America's kind of got different styles all across the board, and that's what's kind of cool
Hmm.
about all the pizza places, because there's so many different ones and
Yeah,
concoctions and everything thrown together.
yeah, yeah. I bet.
That was the best thing about going to New York. Like when I went, was just the pizza. The pizza
Yeah,
was
it's
out of
good.
this world. Oh my god! I love a supreme pizza. That's my go-to pizza.
Hmm.
Just all the toppings, throw it on there, and just
Yeah.
make it a little spicy. Throw a little jalapeno on there or something.
So, what's your favorite state then that you visited?
Ooh, I like that question. That is a good question. So I will say my favorite state that I have personally visited, I would have to go with ooh I'm gonna be honest. It's not because I went recently, but I like Michigan. I really
Hmm.
do. I like the lakes. I like the water. Yeah, it's cold as shit. That's the one negative sometimes, but I just like the people up there. I like kind of the atmosphere and the food and just
Hmm.
that kind of area. So Michigan was always a fun state. I love Florida, of course,
Yeah,
because it just the tropical feel and getting around. California was fun because the weather. But
yeah,
those three for sure. Colorado also kind of a runner up. I thought
yeah,
Colorado was gorgeous, and it just when you're out in Colorado, you have that altitude, but also like the air is so clean and crisp, it feels like. And I went to a few places over there. So I'd say those are kind of my
Hmm.
four. One of my goals, like states to visit, is Hawaii. I really want to get to Hawaii and check that out. I love the culture. I love their beer,
Yeah.
everything kind of about it. But I just got to get
It's
over
quite
there.
hard to get to, right? How do you
Yeah,
get there? Do
yeah,
you
you
have
got
to?
to go to San Diego or like LA or like one of the California cities, or unless you get a direct flight and then you fly into an island. But like if you want to go to another island, you fly over. The flights are quick charters, but you got to like
Yeah.
rent another car. And so there's a lot of expenses when you go to Hawaii, but I'm definitely going to make it there. It's on my goal
Hmm.
list. But I like up north. I mean, I thought Boston was really cool. I thought New York was cool. A place that I always have loved is Canada. I love
Yeah.
Toronto. Toronto's got like my favorite zoo, my favorite kind of attractions, and it just it was such a laid back vibe, and there was so much to do that it almost just made me feel like I could spend weeks and weeks in Toronto and not like ever get bored. It was so much fun.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to ask which is the worst then.
Huh?
Which is the worst state? Which did you not
Oh,
like?
that's another great question. So the worst state, with hands down, I'll say it, is Mississippi.
Yeah.
Mississippi sucks. Alabama sucks. And I don't care if anyone listening is offended by it. They
You're
both
going to
suck.
offend people.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. People are loyal to their states. I've been through them. I've had some good times in Alabama from the standpoint of like zoos and a few attractions. And like I went to, there's like an Olympic qualifying game in Birmingham I went to. But other than that, that state sucks in my opinion. It's real backwards. And then Mississippi, not a single attraction. I mean, very boring, ugly state. So I just kind of never liked those two, and I've always been a just kind of a hater of Mississippi. But I do, I do, like I said, love Florida. That's close by. I love Georgia. I love Louisiana. Going to New Orleans. New Orleans is a very fun town. So, but yeah, that those two for sure. And then like Indiana, I border that with
Yeah.
Kentucky, and I love
Yeah.
Indianapolis, which is a really fun town. But everything else in Indiana is just kind of ugh. So I kind of would I would say you could throw Indiana off too. But yeah, I've liked majority of the states that I've been to. There's a lot of fun ones. I've lived in Tennessee. I would love to live in Detroit or Cincinnati or
Mm.
kind of a Midwest town. Give it a year or two, just give it a shot. But I also kind of want to go somewhere warm and tropical. It's just kind of seeing what the future holds. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good. Those are two good questions. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that you learn about when you're going to these places, and
Yeah.
attractions and like things to do in places that you wouldn't even think would have that.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, where I live in Kentucky, like Louisville is like a really big city and town, but everything else around is kind of just country, middle of nowhere. But I mean, it's so spread out. You got maybe like two other smaller towns, but Louisville's pretty much the main big city where I'm at. And we're up in the north, so
Yeah.
everybody kind of knows about Louisville, but everything else is kind of just country, or they would call it BFE, bumfuck Egypt. So, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I like being from Kentucky, but I also am ready to explore more. I'm ready to get out. I don't see myself living in like Louisville or Kentucky long term. I'm
Yeah.
ready to get the move on probably here in the next year or so, a couple of years.
Mm.
Just kind of gotta figure out the right place though. Don't wanna make the jump and then it be the wrong spot.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hmm.
What's some of your I gotta ask your favorite beers, favorite drinks, liquors?
Wow. I actually haven't drank for a couple of months because I was preparing for the surgery and then obviously recovering from it. So I like Budweiser. Like that's
Okay,
nice beer.
I love
Vodka.
Budweiser too.
Like a cocktail if I'm out with my girls. Um, I don't know really anything. Like not too keen on wine anymore. I used to drink it a lot, but yeah, mainly beer or cocktails, depending on the event.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I am. I'm a big beer guy or a
yeah,
bourbon guy. I don't really drink that much anymore. Like it's probably once or twice a month. I mean, it's so shocking how much I've changed. I'm more of a cannabis weed smoker kind of user,
yeah,
but I do like occasional drinks. Like I got Maker's Mark, which is my favorite bourbon in the kitchen, so I'll make
yeah.
a cocktail here or there. But beer wise, I love Hawaiian beers like Kona.
Oh yeah,
I love Bud Light, Budweiser, which you know you got a lot of people over in the States thinking, craft beer is the way to go, and craft beer is kind of the new thing where people, and there's some
yeah.
good
It's
craft
the
beers
same
out
here.
there, but it's a little bit of a monopolized market. There's so many that
Yeah,
have taken over. But
yeah.
Emma, I want to say I appreciate you being on the show. I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you taking the time. With motherhood and work and this life in general. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I also want to say thank you for your friendship. It's been a blast knowing you and excited about the future. And we're gonna eventually meet
Yeah,
one day in person.
definitely.
And I'm
I'm looking
glad
forward
we
to
stay in touch and
it.
keep the communication going. I know my friends listen to the show and fans listen to the show will really enjoy learning about you, learning, hearing somebody else from a different culture. And it's just, I don't know, it's important to me for my show to be international too and to have other guests as well from different cultures. So I think it's awesome. But do you want to give any shout outs or do you want to share your
I
Instagram
do,
or anything? Or
no, I hope that all your listeners enjoy it and that I've been interesting and thank you so much for having me on. It's been really fun, really good fun. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you. Thank you. Everybody that's been listening, thank you so much for supporting. The show's been going great. This was episode 14, so got about 5 or 6 more. If you want to reach out, BibleWithSleazy@gmail.com or BibleWithSleazy the podcast on Facebook or Instagram. Reach out, show love, send the support. Got a few remaining guests. They're going to be awesome, just like Emma was. So I appreciate all the guests. I appreciate all the love, the downloads, the streams for believing. So thank you, everybody. But this was a great episode. And again, we are coming live from Wales. This is
Yay.
International Bible with Sleazy. But thank you so much. And we are out. Peace.